What do you mean? What do you mean
I
by that?
agree.
Without saying trigger words, what do you mean? Be a little bit more specific.
Almost any veteran who served in combat is coming back with a PTSD diagnosis. You understand? And the good, that will wipe out. That would clear out the police force. That would see, like, this is the thing, we don't understand the ramifications of this and how interwebbed and intertangled this thing gets. You know what I'm saying? It's because if you can't carry a weapon as a police officer here in the States, I don't think you qualify as to even to carry the position. So and another thing I want to say is London, UK's knife game is exquisite. So if you take the guns, it's going to go to something else. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to tell you, I've seen some of the nicest. I've seen some of the, and I'm trained, and that knife game over there is exquisite. It's mixed with Turkish, Filipino, Vietnamese, anything you could think of that is immigrated over there.
Do you guys remember I'm sorry, go ahead. Do you guys remember when Nike got in trouble for making those new track jackets in France that had all the knife pockets in it? Because they know the kids over there can't really have guns, so they made all these concealable knife pockets inside the new Nike track jackets, and it's caused a whole alarm over there. It was like maybe 5-6 years ago, when there was a bunch of rioting going on in France.
Now I support Nike doing that because I do. I support Nike in doing that. I really do, because you got to be able to protect yourself, conceal a weapon, use a weapon. This is not something that, look, when someone comes to harm you, they're crazy. And when you go to protect your life, you got to match that insanity.
Facts. I just find it hilarious that I'm sorry, go ahead. But no, I was just saying, I find it hilarious that a company is allowed to make money off of your inability to carry firearms by making a jacket to help you carry knives.
No doubt. Hey, give me 1 second. If y'all don't mind, listen. Hey, this is a wonderful, wonderful panel. We have some people like Dr. Lockhart that I haven't got to be on a panel with in a while. I'm so ecstatic.
On the building?
Yeah, Dr. Lockhart is on the panel. Even Nisi Shirelli is on the panel. I'm excited. I'm excited. These are people that I love and really respect, and haven't had the chance to be on the panel with them much. My guys is in here. You know what I'm saying, Trucker and Crown and his ghetto point of view, and Zero. So shout out to that. And Pastor, been coming around a lot lately, so I appreciate it. Listen, in the meantime, between time, if y'all want, there's a lot of people on the panel, a lot of chats coming through, right? If y'all want to make sure that your chats get read, please do so through the super chat or do so through the Cash App. I'm gonna try to welcome y'all at least one time to give you and to say thank you, to say I appreciate y'all, because y'all could have been anywhere in the world, but y'all chose to be here, and I appreciate it, right? So if you want to guarantee that your comments get highlighted and read, please do so through the super chat or through the Cash App. Today, the chat is pretty calm and pretty cool. We got a lot of mature people in the chat. I love it. But if someone acts out in the chat, I do have a chat bounty. And today the panel is super dope. So I don't think y'all want to boot anybody. But if you decide to, there is a panel bounty. But I would hope that y'all don't use the panel bounty, because we are having like a dope panel. Okay. So I would discourage the panel bounty, but I would encourage you to support the show. I would encourage you, if people are acting up in the chat, to use the chat bounty. But let me read these. Let me welcome some people real fast.
Did Sharon send you that $80?
Oh, of course not. Of course not. Shout out to Sharon. But I appreciate the 20 he did send. Easy. Balloons improve gas mileage. Shout out to Easy. Hey, Nisi is in the building. She says she's an indigenous native. I love it. She says I'm a native indigenous. Shout out to that. I wanted to hear more about that. Y'all was having a dope discussion the other day on Chaotic Clubhouse, Sherelle, and I wanted to get up on that one so much. Shout out to Chaotic Clubhouse, and shout out to the gems that you was dropping over there too, Sherelle. You did a dope job. Jordan, yes, true. I grow a garden. Also prep on y'all. What's that mean? What's that last word, y'all?
Jasmine.
He pretty much do herbs.
Okay. Shout out to that. Shout out to my man Money Bando in the building. They could never take a real ninja guns away. A law-abiding citizen should be afraid because y'all ain't gonna be safe. Oh Lord, dang. Shout out to Jade Lewis. Jade Lewis said, "Great conversations." Oh, peace you out, brother. Awesome panel. The Crown Prince, shout out to you, man. Good to see you. I appreciate you. All right, so let me let my man Trucker Yell get in here, and then Sherelle. Thank you, Jade Lewis. She said, "I love your panel today." Thank you so much, Jade Lewis. I appreciate you, sis. I appreciate you. All right, go ahead, Trucker, and then Sherelle, and then we're gonna open it up.
Salute, Trucker.
No, I'm trying to catch up. I'm trying to. Hey, how everybody doing? No, I'm trying to catch up because I've been in and out, going back and forth with the family. Where y'all at right now? If y'all mind.
All right, well, nah, just listen in, brother. Shout out to you. Hey, Sherelle, how you doing? Just listen in because it's a lot.
Hey,
it was a lot
everybody.
said. Hey,
Hello,
sis.
everybody.
How you doing, Niecy, sis?
I'm doing better. I could say, speaking on exactly what your topic is, I think it's a dangerous idea of them to be controlling this gun control thing, especially when they're talking about passing bills and giving cops immunity. I think every citizen that is eligible to have a gun should have a gun, and the ones who are not eligible to not have a gun should be living with someone close to them or some type of village or family that can protect them that has guns. I think the dangers of when we start to get into this whole let's psychologically diagnose people, listen, that is very dangerous, especially for people of color. This whole idea of normal, of what they've socially engineered normal to be, the fact that everybody, even though we're all different beings, the fact that 350 million people should somehow have the same characteristics to check a box to say that they're normal, that's insanity. That is pure insanity. That is crazy. So a lot of us are gifted. A lot of us do have different personalities, and we don't take the time to actually understand that. It's to where we can go to these hospitals and they will medicate us to take our gifts away, and they know what they're doing, but we are not aware of what they're doing. So a lot of times you have to really get into knowledge of self. Just like I was explaining the other day, a lot of times this whole spell that we've been under is the fact that we continuously reading his story. And we have to start learning our own story. Okay, so understand that when we talk about our belief systems, it is never to push our belief systems onto other people. It is to talk about our experience as an individual, to expand the consciousness and the perspective. The picture is bigger than what you've seen. The out of your eyes and your lens of your life that you live, you have a perspective, but you have to open your mind to other people's perspectives, because being closed-minded will help you lose your mind. So I may not be a doctor, respect to the doctors, but I am a person who was diagnosed with depression, anxiety, and multiple personality disorder, who has a psychiatrist, who was given medicine. None of that helped me. Through tapping into my origins, tapping into my being native, being a native woman from New Orleans, understanding that a lot of it's been confusion, being lost, feeling like, okay, I was brought over here on the ship, I'm from Africa. Never. My blood is in the soil, connecting with the soil. What healed me from my anxiety, I'm 100% healed from anxiety, depression, multiple personality disorder. I'm 100% healed from that, from sitting in the grass, from hugging trees, using plant-based medicines, doing something called shadow work, understanding that I don't have multiple personalities, but I have different aspects of myself, and I channel other things. Getting integrated with all of those things, instead of suppressing my emotions, talking to my emotions, talking to my shadows, being able to dig into being 29 right now and understanding that the source of my pain is something that I had suppressed when I was 6 years old. Happened to tap into something that was traumatizing, that I had buried into my subconscious. Tapping into my subconscious mind, being able to go back and tell my dad and tell my family things that happened to me that was shaping my life and tearing my whole world apart, because I kept trying to fit in on what was normal. I'm not normal. And that's okay. I'm different and everyone is different. It's about embracing our differences and coming together to create. I know a lot of times we've been going through life thinking that things are supposed to be black and white or some type of shade of gray. But if God wanted everything to be black and white, why the hell do we have an entire rainbow? The
Let me ask you
spectrum
something.
is missing.
Let me ask you something, Sherelle. Thank you for sharing. That's deep, right? And I
That
appreciate
was beautiful.
yeah, and I appreciate your courage and sharing, and I love you so much, and I appreciate you, right? Let me ask you a question though, right? With that being said, how do you suggest people, and this is something I wanted to ask you the other day, how do you suggest people of color, melanated people, the good potato salad people, the people of the sun, how do you suggest that we get to our particular tribe or our particular ancestry? What are some ways that we can do that, right? Like for those of us who have talked to people in our family and that are older and they don't even seem to know.
Yes, and you can respect that because they were the ones who first got brainwashed. You understand what I'm saying? Their history was taken from them first. Their religions, their original practices, and their original diets were replaced. So what I can say that I personally did for myself is you have to start detoxing your body. Put your body on a full metal detox. Get rid of the parasites in your body. That will take discipline. I'm not going to say that this level of understanding that I got was easy. I've been on a 30-day water fast. Still driving trucks at the same time, driving an 18-wheeler, working every day, not drinking water for 30 days. Consistently building up to that so where I can go on a water detox to go deeper into my own mind, to leave the conscious mind and to flow into my subconscious mind and stay in meditation.
Let me
And
ask you
you
a
can,
question, Sherelle. I apologize. Let me ask you a quick question. Are you saying to just drink water or to not drink water at all? Because I heard two different things. I
okay,
want to make
it's
sure about something.
just drinking water is
Okay.
a way to fast.
Mm-hmm.
Build up to that. Don't go 30 days. Don't go straight to 30 days. I had to do a bunch of 7s, 14s, 15s before I got to my 30.
No,
But
she didn't say no water. It
yeah,
sounded like that. She was saying 30 days,
only water.
just only water. She said
Yeah,
no water, but it was a misspeak. It was a misspeak, y'all. That's why I asked the question. So yes,
yeah.
okay. Only
So
water.
only water, and your first part of your detox could just be cutting off meat first, trying to go straight into organic fruits, vegetables, the ones that are seeded, things like that. Trying to detox a lot of things out of your body because those are things that are messing with our emotions and distracting us, putting different thoughts in our head that we're not dealing with. I would say go into your mind and start going, trying to find deep meditation. Deep meditation and getting back integrated with the earth. So wherever you're from, go sit in the grass. Go find the oldest trees, the oldest grounds where you're from. Start sitting in the grass and go into meditation in that grass, barefoot. Put your body in the grass. Remember that Mother Nature is what you come from. We're so disconnected from it. And when we disconnect from where we come from, we disconnect to who we are. But this is a perfect time for us to be able to find out who we are, get integrated in that way. So start with your diet, try to detox, go into your meditations. Plant-based medicines is optional, but everybody is not always ready for that. I think the simplest thing is this thing that we have is called shadow work. And shadow work is a very, very deep trauma finding therapy. If you buy the books, you can find someone who can help you with your shadow work, but you have to work your shadow and get to the chords or the root of why you are what you are. You have to acknowledge all sides because a lot of times they keep telling us to be good and all of this good light. Okay, life is about duality. There has to be a balance, and we are so off balance. There has to be the yin and the yang is true. There has to be as much as light as there is. There has to be dark. It has to flow. That is how the whole entire universe, the whole entire omniverse operates in duality. But it's like these powers that be have set these rules up for us to follow them, and it's like this. They don't even follow their rules, and we're the ones getting sick. We're the people in society killing ourselves to hold up a society when a society should exist for us, but we're existing for it. So a lot of times it's going to be coming back from removing the programming and touching into what was the natives doing to tap into God, to tap into their creators, to what they're come from? But nature will get to you. Hug them trees, get in that grass, cut out some of this processed food, this processed sugar, start eating better, start going into your meditations, get in the water, get in the ocean, a natural body of water, oceans, lakes.
Yes,
Go
ma'am.
to it. Your memories will come back. You say, we're children of the sun. I sit in the sun for 3 hours, don't burn, but I'm sweating. Let the sun activate you. Let the sun act. The sun activates everything in the world that you see that God put on, from the grass to the trees. Everything has to survive by the sun. But what have they told us? Don't sit in that sun. You're gonna get too dark. Don't sit in that sun. It's yeah. They made us. They made us because we have to go charge. We have to go out there and charge and let that sun activate our DNA and activate what it is. And I promise you, just with those simple things, without even going into your plant-based medicines, if that's what you want to do, you should get with somebody who is experienced in that, and you can work through those different things. There's different type of psychedelics. Um there's mushrooms, legal and illegal. There's the legal mushrooms. Those are the ones, the lion's mane, those glands
right? Yeah.
that are helping people with their mental disorders. You can find these at smoke shops. There's a guy, and these are 100% legal. These are not dry mushrooms. These are not psilocybin. Um, if psilocybin is legal in certain parts of the country, so if you're there and you have that option to try that, that is okay. But there's a man named Stan Peterson. He makes the wellness shrooms, and these are all natural shrooms that you can eat. You can buy them at the grocery stores if you want to mix them yourself. He mixes it in a chocolate form. These are helping people with their mental health. So if you all different type of also herbs, you can go to different stores. It's different teas. It's different herbs. This is what our ancestors were doing. They were healing with the plants, with the herbs, with the earth, because they know that we come from the earth. So they know that the things from the earth can heal us. So tapping into that instead of going and dealing with the medicines, dealing with the blue pills, dealing with the white pills, dealing with a doctor who don't understand you, don't understand where you come from, and it may be your ancestors in your head. Now you think you're losing your mind when your ancestors are channeling, trying to wake you up or tell you something. When it can be different aspects of you or past lives of you trying to tell you something. And you go and try to tell somebody who don't have the DNA or the abilities or gifts that you have, who want to make you feel normal, so they'll give you a pill. They gave me a pill and it erased everything about me. I was just numb. No voices in my head. But it wasn't about making them go away. It was about listening to them and understanding them. My head is clearer. I've been battling with depression for the last 20 years of my life.
Wow.
A broken heart, depression, because I came from so much. And my entire life has been about breaking my generational curses. And I can say that. I'm proud to say at 29, I'm retired. I'm proud to say at 29, I've broken my generational curses. But now my purpose is bigger because I come from circumstances where people don't get to make it out. And now I can be a light in an experience, but I had to clear my mind first. I had to heal first. So the same way somebody have to go to 10 years to be a doctor, I'm a healer too. I'm just going to be a healer on a holistic level, healing people's minds, healing people's heart, letting them tap into God, not the God that the world created, but the God that exists inside of you. Because the God that created you exists inside of you. We're not going to find him in a book, in the sky, in nothing. We're going to find him in yourself. You're going to find when the closest thing to God that you can ever see is when you look in the mirror. It's you. Reflect in and go in. So I had to go through all these tumultuous things in my life so that I could have this experience. Because the first person I needed to heal was myself. And then I can be able to heal the people around me in my community. So tap into you. Tap in. Go within your heart. Go within your heart. That's how you find God. Go within your heart. And inside your heart, it will clear everything. Tap into your lands. Start dealing with the healthy wellness rooms, a different type of herbs. Tap in with these holistic healers. Start detoxing from a lot of this processed food. Start deprogramming yourself. We already doing it. We rather be on YouTube having positive conversations than to be just watching something that they put on TV. So start detoxing from their programming.
Yes.
Start embracing you. Start embracing the beauty of you, the beauty of your black people. Because yes, we've been through a lot. But think about people that they've been trying to kill for 600 years and we still here. And realize we don't die. We just keep on coming back. So enjoy the beauty of the victory story of what your family is. Tap in and understand. From being from New Orleans, we're definitely tapped into our culture. So go find where you're from and understand that the stories that they've been telling, that's his story. Go find your story, and that will start unlocking all the keys that you need to find your inner peace.
Appreciate that. Hey, yes, Dr. Lockhart.
I just wanted to say, to answer somebody's question, because what Sherelle just shared was absolutely the truth. So here is the thing. If you're not tapped into who you are, what she says sounds like Venusian. Sounds like you're from Venus, or sounds like you're from Mars. However, for those that are here from Headlines with a Voice who understand what she said, it was for you to be here at such a time as this. Now, what I will say is, it does have everything to do with the point, because we're asking, or at this point, we were dealing with the DSM-5. We were dealing with how emotional or how mental illnesses are now being utilized to take people's guns away from them. It's everything everybody has said. Because if one person considers PTSD a mental illness, and it is listed as one, then everybody who has PTSD is now excluded from being able to have the right to bear arms if we allow this particular situation to exist. Every single individual has something that they are dealing with that can be classified by man's terminology as a mental illness. If we just allow people to keep what they need to protect themselves and wait until a crime is committed. You can't even call the police when you have your feeling or your intuition tells you something's about to happen and say, I just know they're going to do something to me. The police are going to ask you, well, have they done anything? Ma'am, you can't call us until they've done something. Now, sometimes it is too late. But the point that I'm making is they already subscribe to that theory. What I'm saying is, keep your weapons, protect yourself. When you break the law, there are measures to correct that. And it's that simple. If not, we are going to be like those other countries, because every single one of us know that there's something on the way. All of us know that there's been a purpose for them driving it home with our community more than anything. They took guns away from the Native Americans. They took guns away from those who had melanated skin a long time ago. And as soon as they gave the last one up, you had all kinds of stuff going on in Oklahoma to people who had communities that belonged to people that look like us. You have all types of Americans that don't look like us, where they had tried to take their guns, and then they were standing outside of Bundy Ranch, standing outside of all these other places, and they were taking the fact that these individuals were grouped, that they had some type of communication with each other. They were taking that as an offense. And because they saw them as a danger sign, they had to sell it to the public. These people are bad. Look at what they're doing over here. They're trying to protect themselves from X, Y, or Z. So the deal is, leave the guns in the people's hands. If somebody breaks the law, you already have laws that are set up to protect that. That's all I had to add.
Exactly. Because they will call you a savage for taking your guns and doing savage things to you.
And they do. They're doing savage things to people who aren't even brandishing a weapon. And by they, I mean those that you called for protection. You're not even brandishing a weapon. You call them. I want to look at the other girl situation, but I'm talking about that later, so I really don't want to dig deep, but I'll say this. First mistake she made was allowing somebody in her house, and that's the young lady out there,
Sandra
Massey. Yeah, Massey. Her biggest mistake was allowing them in her home. She should have closed the wooden door and then closed the screen and spoke to them on that porch and allowed them to deal with what it was that she called them to deal with on that porch. You allow them in your home. When you allow them in your home, you're giving them the legal right to walk all through your house.
But let me say this, because sometimes, because I've had a situation. I told the story the other day. I think it was yesterday, a long time ago, where they just kind of pushed past. They didn't ask. They kind of pushed past and was almost trying to make me physically keep them from coming in, and then you know what I'm saying, that would have been a problem. So but you're saying if you have a situation like that, you come outside.
Most assuredly, stand on your porch.
Deal with them on the porch.
You don't leave what would be considered your fence of your home, because you do have a right to your own person, but that extends out a certain amount of space from your house. So you stand on your porch, you close that door behind you, and you stand right there on the porch, or you stand in your doorway and you do not allow them to come in.
Well, I think hold on, Dr. Lockhart. I think the porch thing is excellent because, like I said, sometimes when you're standing in your doorway, they'll try to push past you.
Oh yeah, they do.
You know what I'm saying? And then once they and then if you try to keep them from pushing past you, then they'll try to make it seem like that was an assault situation.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Or you did something. So I think the porch, I think that's excellent advice as far as staying on the porch, so that they can't get in or out. I like that.
I like flow states as well. He says, talk to them through the door. You don't owe them to open the door at all. All of these things are accurate. But to our point for the topic of the day, I believe that woman did not brandish a weapon. She was far enough from any thrown water for the heat in that water to have subsided by the time it would have hit the man who felt it was a threat. From where she was to, it doesn't really matter. The fact is, if you have a weapon, I owned 3 salons in Georgia when I lived in Georgia. Don't you know I rocked my pistol? I had half a barber shop and the other half was a beauty shop. And what we took was cash all day. You can have a cat standing outside of your salon counting your clients. And as soon as you shut down and you're ready to walk out, you've been in there standing on your feet 8 to 12 hours in a day on a good Saturday. And now somebody else wants to come and take what's yours. No, sir, no, ma'am. If I'm headed to the bank, you can follow me if you want to, but I got some candy for you. Yeah, that part.
And where I'm from, we gotta bust them off every now and then too, to let the people know that they're around. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. You know, they make people think, you know, twice, especially if you have a certain bearing, you know, about yourself, you know, when you're moving and carrying them, you know, it's just real. You know, most criminals know who is gonna, you know, be hard to take down. It's like an apex predator. They gonna look, they're gonna search for the weaknesses, and if they don't see too many, they're gonna go on about their way.
Yo, Crown, did you want to add on to say anything about did you have a reply before I read the comments and do my commercial?
Listen, I respect everyone's opinion, but I can only speak from my experience. There are certain people that are literally delusional, but the thing is, we have used the term delusion to make this to be this kind of murky, kind of nebulous thing. But there are people that literally will see something that's not there. There are people that are clinically diagnosed with certain conditions where it is that they see everything as a threat. The thing that I was saying earlier is there are certain circumstances where certain people should not have weapons. But I am all for everybody having a weapon, but in the same token, certain people shouldn't have weapons. That being said, I've heard everything that everybody has said, and everybody has a point. But in the same token, there should be a thing where it is that within certain circumstances, you have the people have a right to step in. And I've seen those things go wrong personally in my lived experience. I also want to say that I agree with some of the people on this panel where the DSM-5 as a whole is a very I don't know, a fluid thing, because even LGBTQ was considered a mental illness at one point, and then it was taken off of the DSM-5, and I hear that, But in the
For a
same
reason.
token, again, there are certain people that should not have weapons, and I will continue to stand by that. As far as what Sherelle was talking about earlier, I hear you, but in the same token, I have a lot of questions. I would like to know if it is that you have actually seen a clinician, if that clinician has said, you're fine, and if after that you've decided to go down that pathway of trying to find yourself in this, that, and the third, salute to you on that. But
well, give me a second and let y'all ask. I'm gonna let you ask those questions. Give me a second because those might be a little lengthy answers. Give me one quick second. Let me just read these, and then because I like to welcome everybody into the building, and then the people that hit the Cash App, I like to acknowledge them. Listen, dope discussions deserve dope donations. Compensation for the conversation. Let's do good business, family. We got some really, really dope discussion today. Some really, really good pointers and highlights, some things to remember, and maybe you don't know. You know what I'm saying? I've learned a lot today already. Make sure y'all hit the Cash App, support the show, support the stream. You know what I mean? Let's do good business, family. Let's do good business.
Donate, don't hate. Give him everything you've got. Hit the Cash App. It's Cash App $Israel Mills $Israel Mills. On God.
God, y'all support the show, support the stream. You know what I mean? Dope discussions deserve dope donations. Compensation for the conversation. Jay Lewis said, did everyone see what happened to Sonia Massey? Now, I didn't see it. I've heard about it. I don't want to really watch it, but I've heard about it. Shout out to Mel. She said, right. Sora C said, wow. Yeah, what's up, Sora C? What's up, Flow State? Izzy, Miss Lockhart, panel and chat. What's going on, Flow State? Good to see you, sir. Royce M is in the building. Says, Sherelle. Hey, Carmen, sweetheart, how you doing? Good to see you, sis. I think this person is in your chat. Hey, what's going on, Man's Fool's Gold? How you doing? Yes, grounding connects us to healthy energies. Yes. I've heard that. Hey, Howell, how you doing? Say hey, hello, Felicia. Good to see you. Sora C said yes. It is said that fasting with just water for at least 14 days will add 10 plus years to your life. Shout out to that. We're going to try to work up to that. Hey, and thank you very much, Sherelle, for sharing. Vet Life 81 says she's right, y'all. Y'all should investigate what she's saying. She is on point. Just try it and see if you don't believe it. Yeah, if you don't believe it, try and see. Calvin Cook said, walk barefoot in the grass to get your energy back to nature. Yes. Shout out to Sandy Aaron said, I'm in the sun a lot. My skin's darker, but it turned my hair DJT orange. Shout out to that. What's going on, the real Pookie? How you doing, yo? What's good? Yo, Uncle Jeff, TV said, real talk. Cleansing is so important that you can't get to a higher state without it. Yes. Hey, Reese Neal, how you doing? Robert Williams, what's going on? That's they low. Yes. Hey, my man, Bishop J. Jermaine in the building. What's going on? I agree. What's going on, Corey Love? How you doing? I don't let police in my house ever for no reason. Shout out to you. You're very smart, brother. You're very wise, brother. Flo said, talk to them through the door. You don't owe them to open your door at all. Okay. Bishop J. Jermaine said, unless they have a warrant, they not coming in my crib. Shout out to y'all. I wish I knew y'all back then. I wish I would have known. I'd save myself a lot of heartache and pain. Jeff said, Lion's Mane, Rikishi, was that turkey ball, oysters, all of these on the regular. Is he talking about
delicious.
Turkey tail?
That's true.
No, he's talking about mushrooms. They're delicious.
Yeah, turkey tail is that turkey tail is a mushroom?
Yeah, they're all
oysters a mushroom. Oysters a mushroom too.
Yeah, reishi.
They're delicious.
Oh, okay.
That's Uncle Jeff.
Shout out to that. Yeah, see y'all put me on to something. I ain't really done the shrooms. Hey, Just Me, how you doing? Good to see you, sis. Yeah, definitely great discussion. Thank you very much, Trucker Yale. He said, got super busy. Don't want to mess up the flow. Good, B. Thank you very much, Trucker Yale. Appreciate you hitting the Cash App. Be like Trucker Yale. Be like my man, Crown Heights Brainiac, and be like Jay Lewis. Y'all hit the Cash App and support the show, support the stream. I appreciate you. What's up, Silk the Shocker? What's going on? Black women don't see cops as threats. I don't know about that. How could you say that when they've deleted a lot of black women at this point too? How can you say that? I don't know. But go ahead, family. You got it. I want to go ahead. His ghetto point of view. I know you wanted to say something. You got it.
Nah, I mean that could actually be an interesting conversation, man. I guess reliance that not all, but some of our sisters who are not as up on the history, and even some of our brothers who are not as up on the history of what's happened to our communities, being so over reliant on outsiders for protection. I think that's where a lot of we're comfortable with not having firearms in our community. We're comfortable not learning self-defense. We're comfortable not policing our own communities, not having neighborhood watches, just allowing these things to always be done for us by outsiders, when that really puts us in a bag of whatever they feel is comfortable for our community is what we're going to have. We're never going to get what we actually need by allowing outsiders to always have to come in and babysit or regulate us. Like we put ourselves at their mercy when we do that.
Just like what's happening on this panel right now, because everyone on the panel right now is an American, except for Crown. Crown does not.
Crown is American. Wait. Why would you do? Crown is American too. He's a Trinidadian American, but Crown is an American citizen. No, why would you say that?
Everyone on this panel sounds like an American.
Except the fuck does that mean? Like, oh my god, I hate this argument.
He's but Pastor, don't do that. He's American, bro.
Let me make two corrections before the conversation.
He's a Trinidadian American.
Yeah, before the conversation devolves, right?
And then I have to dismantle my chat.
I'm in Central America right now.
We're not gonna do
right?
that, Dr.
I'm in Central America right now, right? Born. This is my soil here. I'm a U.S. citizen that served in the U.S. military, as well. I think people have to get this idea out of their head of what things sound like or whatever, because there's different languages, there's different, intonations, there's different codes. I want to also let you know, Izzy, that those mushrooms that they mentioned, those are edibles. Those aren't psychedelics. That's just food. You know what I'm saying? So that, that you're clear on that, the turkey tail and all of that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Good food. The other thing I wanted to say is the brother Crown Heights is very eloquent, right? Where I would challenge him is this, right? Again, I'm speaking this from experience of actually dealing with the psychology field, the medical field, big pharma. This is something I deal with intimately, right? When you're saying, see, I just want you to know that a lot of these people that we're thinking are professionals are the ones that are trying to pass it on us that men can compete in women's sports. You understand? There's a hedonistic anarchy in the psychology field that the average layman does not understand is going on. There's a war. So if you're just saying in general, who told you were all right, who diagnosed you, yo, bro, a person can go on to California and get a diagnosis, go to New York to someone who has a background, an indigenous background and a broader understanding of certain things, and get a whole completely different diagnosis. There's no solid, firm reality in psychiatry and psychology right now. And that's what people have to understand. So like it's dangerous to say, who gave you the pass and who didn't. This thing is not even together enough to they want you to believe that, but it's not even together enough for that to be a true reality. I appreciate what you're saying, but man, it's wild west in psychology right now, man. There are people in the field right now that are pushing things that are becoming the norm in psychology that are ridiculous. You understand?
On a lot of notes, some of the things they've done in Florida, in Florida and Oklahoma, they made people pick between their medical marijuana license for mental health and their the ability to register a weapon. That's just why registering weapons is a very dangerous thing. Because just because I need medical marijuana to have a normal mental health day, does that still mean that I don't need protection? Like, this stuff gets kind of dangerous, man.
But again,
Dr. Lockhart was trying to say.
I wanted to say two things. The first thing, well, it was two, and I've forgotten what it was, but I know that it was going. The first thing I forgot was going to the gentleman to your right, Izzy. The gentleman in the black in the middle. His ghetto point of view. He was saying something, and it just reminded me of something that Sherelle and I talked about on a panel a couple of years ago. And we were dealing specifically with understanding who you are and having your own community, right? For some of us that are sojourners here, we understand. And this, again, is only for those of us who understand what I'm about to say. We're sojourners here. And because we should have community where we understand the hierarchy, where we understand the way you are to behave, and we understand how things are supposed to be. Her people are from Louisiana. My people are from Louisiana. I was born in Mississippi. Our people are indigenous to this land. We had culture, we had community before it was disbanded and broken apart. For us, it's nothing for us as the women from that culture for us to be submissive in those types of settings where it necessitates that. Okay, that's the first thing. So I agree with him on that of having community and understanding placement. He didn't say exactly that, but when he said it, it reminded me of, hey, yeah, because no problem to keep your weapon. No problem to understand there's somebody else, a watchman up on the wall. They're watching, they're making sure. They're literally doing exactly what that amendment says. It's a well taken care of militia that is well armed, that is looking out for the community. Now, I wanted to also talk about, can I share my screen for just a quick second?
Okay, what are you trying to share?
This individual here, I'm going to give it to you. This is the United States of America, the individuals who we're talking about attempting to take the guns and attempting to take everything from us. Look at who this place has stated is the Assistant Secretary for Health. So we're putting a group of individuals over this place, and this individual is the person that the United States has put over as an Assistant Secretary of Health. Do you see this?
Jeez, doctor.
Do you see this? So when we talk about we have to trust them, we have to have some types of means to measure it. This is Admiral Rachel L. Levine, MD.
That's a professional
today.
That's a professional picture of
today. This is today.
Okay. They were born a woman? They were born a man?
That's a man.
110%.
Wow.
Okay. Still had a wife, children, the whole 9 yards. So when you tell me that I need to trust this group of individuals to tell me whether or not the fact that I can tell you if somebody's coming to this house within an hour, because I got a spirit that I know how to pick up. I know who I am. I understand who I am. I can look at you and tell you if death is going to come to you soon. This is from a little girl. So am I to negate my gifting because somebody that looked like that tells me that something's wrong with me? Huh? No, I have been an empath since I was a young girl. Everything my sister just got through saying, everything Sherelle said has some validity to those it means something to. Now, if you want to follow along with the individuals that when Babylon is fallen, begins to fall, then go right ahead and follow Babylon. But you're going to get everything that Babylon got coming to her. And that includes the pharmaceuticals. That includes the food. That includes the castration with chemicals. That includes every single thing that you touch every day, whether we shake our head in agreement or not. These are still the things that you are succumbing to every single day. You go and pull up and get yourself a Gatorade. You go and pull up and get yourself a Coca-Cola. Do you know what's in that Coca-Cola? Do you know? No, you don't know, because they don't want you to know, and you subscribe to that. That's all I got to say.
So basically, in layman's terms, just the things that take away your virility and your veracity in that particular manner. They've figured out ways to take that away from you without physically taking it away from you.
On the outside of the Vatican, there is a large pine cone where they're snooting it in your face. That pine cone represents your pineal gland. That pineal gland is so calcified right now, not only with Hitler's fluoride that America supplied him with, it's also calcified with other things that they're introducing to your kids, their food, their snacks. Don't let them, don't be mean to them. Let them eat the sugar. Let them have this and that. So we can sit here and pretend like they're the good guy and we're the conspiracy theorists, or we can open up our eyes and we can see what is. Why is there, if it's not a problem, why is there all this stuff, and why is there fluoride inside your toothpaste? Why do you need fluoride? They've been using. I am 60 years old in a month and a half. And when I was a little girl, they used to bring those little red tablets to the school and make us chew them and show our teeth afterwards. They began indoctrinating us and giving us fluoride as a little kid. Why? Why? Why did they use it in the camps? Why? Because it made them docile and it shut down that pineal gland. Whether we accept it or not, it's still true.
It's part of a prison. It's part of a prison.
Okay.
You see it a lot of times. They do it in the prison.
Yeah. Go ahead, Crown, and then Sherelle, and then pass it.
Listen, I hear what she's saying, but in the same token, I'm in the medical field. And this, listening to stuff like this is why it is so hard for me to try to treat people of color, simply because they're afraid. They're
I'm not
already
afraid, sir.
I'm not talking about you, my dear. I'm talking about patients. I'm talking about minority patients, black, white, Hispanic, people of color. They're already coming with a preconceived notion that people like me are coming to do them something, and it is insanely difficult. I'll give you an example. I literally had a guy. He's Latino. His wife was his power of attorney, right? This guy had an ingrown toenail that was literally getting infected. And I tell her, listen, we need to put him on antibiotics. We need to control his sugars, all this other stuff. This guy ends up losing the toe simply because she does not want to listen to what it is that I'm telling you. And I am saying to you, I have numerous examples of these things, simply because there is this narrative where it is that the people that want to advocate for their patients are coming to do them something harmful. And again, I'm not taking away from what you're talking about with the fluoride and all this other stuff. Cool. But I'm telling you, in my clinical experience, it is really, really hard, especially when it is I've watched my patients pass away from COVID. So I mean, I've literally taken care of thousands of patients, and to watch people just automatically think that I'm coming from a position of and the thing that I love, where it is that I've gone to school for so long to take care of people, to literally advocate for them on multiple occasions, and to hear people coming and constantly assuming that just because I might have an MD after my name, I am going to do them something harmful it's annoying. Not just annoying. It is infuriating. So I hear what you're saying, but in the same token, I don't agree with it.
But hey, Corey, move around. Is that you, Corey? Okay, that's you. Okay,
I can understand your irritation, brother, right? But the same way that you just gave us that experiential story of what you've gone through, you have to be genuine. And because and this puts you in a catch-22. You have to be genuine and tell the people the reality that Big Pharma is doing bad things in your industry. If you're not going to be even-handed with us, we can't even listen to you.
You're talking to a physician that was advocating for my own employees You understand me? They will come to me and they will say, Doc, should I take this jab? And I also have a problem with this whole thing of my body, my choice, when it is that you're talking about deleting babies, but in the same token, you force people to take a jab that they don't want. And if it is that they don't want to take that jab, they have to lose their job. I have countless experience of those too. So I hear what you're saying. But in the same token, this thing of how it is that the medical system is here to try to hurt people. Listen.
So that being said, you can't negate
Wait, hold on, Zero.
experience.
Hold on. Let them finish first. Let's don't talk over each other. And Sherelle is next, and then hold on real quick. Sherelle is next, and then Flow State, and then my man Corey Love, and then my man Reaper Rails, and we're gonna open it up. Go ahead,
they were
family.
Literally, doctors. The borders closed on March 15th. There were doctors and nurses and CNAs and LVNs and NPs and PAs that literally showed up on March 16th when those borders closed, had no vaccines, no PPE, no none of that shit. And we came there for our patients. So when it is that people want to come and tell me about my experience and my lived experience, when it is that I'm advocating for my patients, I say, y'all could go jump in a lake. Because there are thousands of people like me that showed up simply because we had a responsibility. And we love the work that we do. So when people come and try to poo-poo on the thing that I spend my life doing, yo, I'm gonna have a ton of pushback for that shit.
It's suspect to me, and I will tell you why it's suspect to me. It's suspect because your response goes way out of the margins of what I'm saying. You know, I'm not saying you don't have those experiences. Those weren't the experiences that you're choosing to argue on behalf. You understand? See, you first chose to argue on behalf of the medical industry, right? And what I'm telling you is it is completely flawed. I'm very litigious, right? I deal with these people constantly. If they play with my name, we go into court, right? To be a physician, to be my doctors are PhDs, right? To be a physician, to be whatever, you have to go through. You have to. I understand. You have to go through academia, right? Okay. Academia is flawed as it stands, brother. You understand? I hear what you're saying.
There's still good work to be done.
Yes, but you can't put you can't build a great house on a shitty foundation, and it takes people like yourself and myself to break this shit down better for the lay people, instead of just telling them that that they're crazy, they're conspiracy theorists. No, these are people that are having actual experiences. You understand? I've watched people die from being prescribed drugs and irresponsibly. You know, you might be out of 1,000 responsible physicians, you might be just one of the like 5%, brother. You understand? And that's just real.
Does not mean that you have to look at everybody skeptically.
Crown Heights is speaking, and I hear both of you. I feel like he's speaking with his passion because he's seen it in action. He's not, from what I'm hearing, he's saying, I've seen it. I've watched people believe X, and I've seen contrary to what they should have happened.
Yes, ma'am. But he is also using buzzwords that negate the experience of people who have also seen it as well from another angle.
So let us come to the table of agreement and exegete those words and figure a way for us to both understand, because I hear what he's saying. He's one of the good ones, you know what I mean? And so are you. But I'm just saying, I get it. I really get it. I heard him say something that I hadn't heard any other MD say. He's advocating for his people. He's going to bat for his people. That's a passion that's so rare these days in the medical field that I believe if I listen just a little bit longer, what he's saying, I would actually get the whole picture. You're not given a lot of times when you're on a panel like this to just lay it out there. You know, you're responding to what's been said. But I truly, honestly believe that with all of us on here, some of us might be saying the same thing, to include you, to include myself, to include Sherelle, because of the passion. Our passion comes from where we've been.
All right. I believe. So let me shift trajectories, right? When I
Hold on, Zero, real quick. Zero. So real fast, and then Sherelle's next, and then Zero, Flow State, then Corey, and then Reaper. Okay, go ahead, Zero. You got it, and then Sherelle, you have to.
I come from this is the place that I come from, right? I come from a ravaged land, ravaged by big pharma, ravaged by big agricultural interests, and migrated to the States. When I had the opportunity to migrate to the States and serve in the military and attain degrees, the first things my elder blessed me with were these words. The white man's security blanket, it transliterates this way. The white man's security blankets hold sickness. Remember that. At whatever level that I felt that I ascended to, they would always bless me with those words. The white man's security blankets hold sickness. So that's the angle that I come from. I'm not attacking the brother.
Understandable.
This is what I'm saying though. That there are words that have been weaponized against the people. There are ideas that have been weaponized against the people, right? And the people's experience is just as important as the physician's experience. You understand? I watched the many people who run in circles to this doctor, that doctor. I've watched women who didn't need to have their wombs taken out, have hysterectomies and all types of things just because it was a little bit more dollar value. They could make a little bit more money. The doctors were doing this now. They could make a little bit more money prescribing that than they could something a little bit more natural that may have been the way. So that's the angle that I'm coming from. And I don't, Crown Heights, bless up, brother. Bless up, my brethren. I have nothing against you. You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't have anything against you either. But in the same token, I am saying to you that there are people in this world that genuinely want to do good. There are people in this world that will genuinely listen, man. You have no idea what it is like to go up against a virus that you have nothing, that you have no idea what is going to happen to your body. But you know that those patients that are requiring and looking up to you because they're scared, just like you are. But at least you have the knowledge to say, all right, we could do this, that, and the third. And I'm here for you. And we're going down. If it is that the ship is going down, we're going down together. You have no idea what that is like. You have no idea what it is like coming home to your girlfriend and you're like, you don't know if you want to get her sick because you've seen 50 patients today. Like, dude, come on. There are good people in this world that are part of the medical field, and I hear what you're saying. But in the same token, for you to come and poo-poo on the people or my experiences, I'm just like, nah.
It's not poo-poo. I would just love to have a conversation with you behind the scenes, where to get more insights. You understand on
Zero. So let's leave it like this, yo. We appreciate you, Crown, and appreciate your service and the sacrifices that you made in a very, very trying and hard time, man, for real.
Exactly.
And we're gonna leave that like that. Yo, Sherelle, go ahead, and then we're gonna move forward. I appreciate you too, Zero. You already know that, brother. So I respect it. So I respect the love.
A lot was said. I could say what Ms. Lockhart was speaking on with us being from where we're from, because I know if anybody knows like my reputation on YouTube, then they understand that I definitely balance off my duality. The light and the darkness, it can get just as dark. So within understanding that where we come from, people would think that women like us are not submissive, but what I always have been since my beginning on YouTube is I am who I am because my father is who he is. And because we still dress up as Indians every Sunday. We still parade in the streets. We still start at Congo Square where our ancestors used to go to be free on Sundays, and we take the streets and we celebrate our big chiefs in our thing. And we have St. Joseph's nights, and it's a big thing to where little girls, the warriors, they still raise little girls to be warriors, and they got to stand their ground before they go get their big chief. So because I know that I got a big chief, then that gives me strength to understand that I'm a warrior because of what I'm connected to. I don't stand alone. So I may be the girl of the wolf pack, but they got big wolves coming behind me. So what I can say about what she said about the pineal gland is anybody that's trying to decalcify their pineal gland, to add to what I was already saying in the beginning, there's something called monatomic gold. And there is a blue lotus flower you can make into a tea, and that will start to help decalcify your pineal gland so that you can start to see things more differently. The thing about this back and forth between the thing is that as I'm healing myself and becoming a healer, because I know this and this is my experience is going to be this and not going to school, but I'm under the belief of who needs a degree when you school in life. So understand that every healer understands that the only person you have the ability to heal is yourself. So the first person you have to heal is yourself when you become a healer. And you trigger something into other people to heal themselves. So once you know how to heal yourself, you are able to teach other people how to heal themselves. So the thing about it is a lot of reason why we don't trust westernized medicine right now, or we're not trusting the doctors, is because these people are not giving us cures. They're giving us things to cope with. They're giving us medicines because the money is in the medicine. The money is in the medicine. The money isn't in the cure. They're not going to the root of these things. I'm telling you, me going through my process of healing the things that I was dealing with came from me healing myself. What the doctor did was gave me something that was gonna make it come back the next day, and I gotta take another pill. Make it come back the next day, I gotta take another pill. And especially when it's a mental disorder, because there is no cure, it's just lifelong medications until you build a tolerance to it, and they want to try a new medication on you that comes with all these different side effects. So understanding that you have to have that some type of compassion for the person who's going through it. I'm gonna look at somebody different who, if I've actually healed from it. So to be the person that heals somebody of something is one thing. To be the person who had to heal yourself of that same thing is a total different thing. So a lot of times the disconnect is a lot of people know stuff because they read it. So they speak from their head. And a lot of people talk about stuff because they've been through it. So they speak from their heart. And a lot of times when you hear people speaking from their heart and you're coming from your head, it's always going to be a disconnect. So that's where Crown Prince's disconnect is, because he's in his heart right now because it's things that he's actually been through, and he don't want somebody thinking that they could read a book or they believe in something in their mind when he's seen it and he's had to go through it. So that's what the disconnect is. When you're speaking from your heart and somebody else is speaking from their head, it causes it's a different vibration, so y'all missing each other. But I'm gonna close with that.
Let me
Yo,
just
go
let
ahead.
me just put two
Okay.
seconds. Let me just push back on that. I don't have I don't have anything bad to say to that, Cheryl. I'm the type of person that I meet you where it is that you are. If it is that you have tried something holistic and that has worked for you, I've literally had cancer patients on chemotherapy and radiation. And the best thing that worked for them was for them to switch their diet to a vegetarian lifestyle. That has nothing to do with modern medicine. That has everything to do with holistic medicine. And I am a huge advocate for that. What matters is that I am trying to get you better. And if it is that that worked for you in the past, yo, let's work on it. You understand me? But in the same token, if you come to me with a blood sugar of 500, and I am saying to you, at this point, we can't do holistic medicine anymore. I need to put you on insulin. Why? Because I'm trying to decrease your risk for stroke. I'm trying to decrease your risk for heart disease. I want for you to be here for your children. Just work with me.
Why would a
Just let me
holistic
take
diet
care of
not
you.
do the same results?
You understand me? All that matters, all that really matters, is that I'm getting you to a point where it is that you're gonna be here for your family. But it's hard for me to do my job when it is that you already come in with a preconceived notion that I'm here to hurt you. My first goal as the Hippocratic oath is to first do no harm. So I'm hearing you, but understand that when it is that I hear people come in with this thing of doctors do this and they have the pharmaceuticals behind you and this that and the third, I get that too. But there are doctors out here that simply want to help the patient and meet them where it is that they are, so we can get them to where it is that they need to be.
No
That's
doubt.
it.
Let me let Flow State get in here. What's up, Flow State? How you doing, man? What would
What's
you like
going
to
on,
add?
guys?
How's it going?
Well, I came up here to kind of go at Crown, and I heard him saying that there was, something about it's difficult to treat minorities and people of color because of blah blah blah. And so I wanted to come up here and be a white guy who also knows fluoride is a neurotoxin. But listen to him a little bit longer. I don't think he's a bad dude, so I'm just gonna simmer it down.
Peace. Appreciate you. His get up. Hey, his get up point of view. You said you had to go. Did you want to add something before you left, brother?
I mean, the conversation is amazing. Salute to the panel. I would love to talk to Crown Heights Brainiac some more, Dr. Lockhart, all of you guys, because y'all are dropping amazing jewels. But the last thing I just wanted to say to Crown Heights Brainiac real quick is what would determine a holistic eating style being superseded by pharmaceuticals? What would make you make that determination? Because it seems like you'd be able to get the same results either way without introducing foreign stuff into a person's body if they're already in a state of emergency or heightened emergency alert. Wouldn't introducing all of that stuff possibly create other issues that you then have to counterbalance with more medications? But I'll leave it there to hear his response in the background. Salute to everybody, much love, and thank you guys for inviting me up.
Hey, salute to you, man. You know you're always welcome. Appreciate you. His ghetto point of view. You want to address that, Crown, and then I'm gonna let my man Reap get in, and then Corey.
I don't really understand the question, but if it is that I kind of understood what he's saying, is there like a quantitative way for me to decide if the holistic approach is going to work any better? No. What happens is when a patient comes in to see a physician, they get lab work. And if based on that lab work, I am seeing certain markers, I am going to say to you, you need to be on this medication, that medication, whatever. If it is that I send you back and within 6 months or so, those markers haven't changed with your holistic approach, then yes, I am going to advocate for you to be on a certain type of medication. I'll give you a chance. I'll meet you where you are, and I'll say, all right, cool, we'll do things your way. But if it is after that period of time, we are not seeing any results, and I know that these things are going to put you at risk factors for other things down the road, then my responsibility is to put you on that medication that has been proven to do so. I'm not talking about experimental blah 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 blah. I'm talking about stuff that has been tried and true. And if it is that you don't want to do that, then it will be hard for me to not want to advocate for you and have a conversation. That's all I'm saying.
No doubt. Yo, Reap, thank you for the super chat. Would you like me to read that before you go or after you go? Say what you want to say, Reap.
Either way, whichever one is easier for you.
You can go say what you gotta say. I'll read it afterward. Thank you, man.
Salute Izzy, salute panel, salute Crown Heights, salute Dr. Felicia Lockhart, man. A lot of jewels, man. And look, man, Crown Heights, bro. I appreciate like you being like the last of the Mohicans, the good doctors, bro. I'm telling you, man, it's not easy to trust a lot of doctors nowadays. No one, we don't know we're gonna get you, right? You know what I'm saying? Like if everybody was assured that, we're gonna get a Crown Heights, of course. 100%. But there are 100%. So many ain't shit doctors out there, bro. When I tell you, 100%. When I was in my 20s, and I would go to my and I don't have any serious issues, but I would go to my my doctor and ask him certain questions that he should have known. And I could see through the reflection in the he used to have like a picture with like a frame of it. It'll give a reflection. And he's looking up the shit while trying to like filibuster and then get the answer to me as he Googles the shit. Instead of saying, I don't know, I'm not sure, I'll get back to you on that, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? I had friends who were able to get oxycodone and sell it back in the day. This is like the early 2000s because the doctors were so lax. You know what I'm saying? And who did the blame fall on? It fell on the Sackler family. It didn't even fall on the doctors who were just prescribing crazy ass freaking what do you call these damn things? Opioids. You know what I'm saying? So there's so much. I think your anger, and I don't say anger. I don't want to put it like that. I think a lot of your feelings should go to the industry itself. You know what I'm saying? Because when you had doctors, and I'm not going to say the word, everybody knows, the shot of, the 2019, 2020 era. There were doctors who were literally demonized for doing the right thing by saying, hey, we have data, or we have questions. Let us chill before forcing these things on people. Let's calm down a little bit. Let's take the scientific approach. Let's do more research. If you want to take it, you take it. If not, but you've literally had people who lost their livelihoods, their jobs. You had 5 companies making billions of dollars. And I'm so mad I didn't buy some stock in some of these companies, man. But yeah, people making billions of dollars. And now that people are getting sick, and mind you, no one wants to talk about the people getting sick from, the thing. No one wants to talk about people passing away from the thing. Now it's, oh no, you took it. I saw, what's your man, Schumer, the older one. Is it Chuck Schumer?
Mm-hmm.
The older one. He literally got up there and said, well, you had a choice. You didn't have to take it. When I live in New York, when I tell you the amount of businesses who could not operate unless you had that thing. You could not go into spaces, gyms, places where, and people like say, oh, well, we are a social creature. If you're not around people, you can go crazy. You can self-delete yourself. So let's stop with the whole, and I'm not attacking you. I'm just saying in general.
No.
So
I'm a
back then, I get it. But even with the older people, you're talking about back then, even the reason why the whole so-called opioid crisis amongst, mostly white Americans passes by was because for the most part, doctors thought the black pain threshold was a lot higher. So they said, we're not going to give you these strong drugs, right? You know what I'm saying? How many women have passed away because of through childbirth because doctors were negligent because of the racial bias? I'm not attacking you. I'm just saying I'm not saying it's necessarily a healthy mistrust, but there's definitely a foundation to it. And it's up to the medical industry. I'm not saying you, Crown Heights, you are a good doctor. God bless you. But it's up to the medical industry to convince people that it ain't all about some BS. And I'm sorry, after this past, whatever, it's hard to trust the medical industry, man. When there's money tied to it, there's incentives tied to it that aren't tied to our health. That's all I want to say. But I feel bad for you when you have an older person who literally just taking out the nail, literally just have to just take out the nail, you have to just cut it out and then whatever, because it's basically puncturing the wound. And I mean, that's tough. But back in their day, I don't know if they sort of Tuskegee experiment, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Bro, man, the medical industry has been on some BS for years, and there are corporate dollars tied to it that do not benefit us, man. So I get you, but you are the last of the Mohicans. You're one of the last good emperors, like in Rome. You got an uphill battle to climb, bro. You got to convince everybody that you're one of the good ones. Unfortunately,
But I hear you, Reaper. But what I'm also saying is, just like you want people like me in the white coat to listen to what it is that you're saying, and to hear that I, a patient, has had bad experiences with physicians. I'm also asking you to be just as open-minded. I'm also asking you to understand that there are people that advocate for you. I'm also asking you to understand that I have my hands tied too. The Medical Board of California wanted to come after physicians and come after their license because they didn't want to advocate certain things. And I am saying, as a physician that has hundreds of thousands of dollars from student loans, that should be hard, because at the end of the day, we have to pay back our loans too. We have bills just like anybody else. We have feelings. We have family. We have all this other stuff. We have responsibility. But I'm not, taking cuts from big pharma and all this other stuff. I'm just out here trying to do right by my patients. You know what I mean? And I know that if it is that I don't show up for work, people are literally going to get hurt. So when it is that people come and say, oh, well, doctors are doing this and doctors are complicit with that and blah, blah, blah. I hear you, but I look at my lived experience and I say, no, because I have tried every single day that when it is that I wake up in the morning, I try to do right by my patients, and it's not on some I'm going to make money type shit. And my assistant comes to me with all these different opportunities. And I say to him, listen, if it is that you do right by the patient, the money will come. And it has always been true. Every year we've been making more money simply because we are doing right by the patients. And once we do right by the patients, the money always comes and we're always rewarded. And that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that there are people out there that want to see you win. And I am just saying, just give us the opportunity to let you win. Now, are there bad physicians out there? 100%. You won't get any pushback from me. Are there physicians that see human beings as nothing more than numbers, and they just want to make millions of dollars and live in cush lifestyle? 100%. But again, just be open-minded. Just like you want me to be open-minded, be open-minded.
And real quick, y'all Caribbean doctors and nurses. Caribbean doctors and nurses gotta be nicer, man. You guys are some of the most crusty.
All right, come on, man. Nah. Yo, we moving forward. I know. We moving forward. Yo, you filibuster. Hey, shout out to my man Corey Love. Man. Yo, Corey, what's up, man? Thank you for your patience.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir. You know you got a super mic. Yes, sir.
Salute.
Quite well. Salute.
Salute to the panel, man. Y'all having a great conversation. I've been waiting for so long. I don't even remember what
See, I'm trying to
when I came up here for, I think it was about the police knocking on your door thing. But let me say something about what's going on with Crown and all of the pushback that he's getting. Man, Crown, we thank you. I think I speak for everyone on the panel, everyone that's watching, man. When we come across a doctor that actually cares about our concerns or listens to us and doesn't just try to push certain things on us. And I'm speaking not for myself, but for relatives that I've been around and watched, and different people that are in the medical field in my family. It's a breath of fresh air to hear it, man. And so we are grateful, and we thank you for everything that you do every day with what it is that you're doing.
Absolutely.
At the same time, I think with all of the technology we have, all of the social media, the way we're now able to see, who's doing what and what's happened, and all of this information that we got, because there was a time, a place and time where, especially us Black people, we thought very, very highly of the medical, of doctors. We believed everything that you all told us. You know what I'm saying? There was a time when we believed stuff. We took it, whatever my doctor told me this, I'm gonna do this. But I think now we're getting to a place with a lot of this information that we're seeing that they're not all like yourself, So I think it's a balance. We're not gonna be able to. I don't know. You don't know who's who. I think that's the scary part, man. When we come into those offices, we don't know. Like, even if you think about just like, I know dentist is something different, but me personally, every time I go to a dentist office, I always got to get me at least two different
cavity fills,
suggestions, just to make sure, because I know but I know we're not talking about dental work, but I think that's what we're going through. What I wanted to say about the police coming to your house and stuff like that, man, that's another thing where a lot of times some of us Black people, like the lady we just watched, are way too friendly, way too trusting of people, the police coming into your house, man. The police really don't have a right, even if someone calls and say, hey, go check on this out. If they come to your door, if they don't have a warrant, they have no right to come into your house at all. Only way they can come into your house is if there's some imminent danger, something going on. They can hear visibly someone screaming, something. You know what I'm saying? They can't come into your house. You don't even have to respond to them at the door if you don't want to. So I wanted to say that. Let me just share one quick story that I had, if you don't mind. I've been waiting for like 30 minutes. Real quick, I disciplined one of my sons. This is a long time ago. I think he was probably about 7 or 8. And I disciplined him. I believe in y'all would call corporal punishment. So it was with the belt on his behind. So he thought it was a good idea to call 911, right? So I found out he calls 911. And so the police come to my door, they start knocking. Now I always make sure I have, and this was years ago, always make sure I have some type of iron gate, and then I have my regular door. I try to make sure I have that. And it's for reasons like this. So the police come to my door. They're doing a wellness check. A kid called 911. I'm like, who called 911? He didn't want to tell me who called. So I look around. I'm like, yo, who called 911? Hello, hold up.
Uh-oh.
So they're coming to check on a kid. A kid called 911. There's a kid. So I'm looking around my house. I'm like, yo, which one of y'all, who called 911? Nobody wants to answer. So I figured out that it's the one that just got a spanking. So I had my door open, but the iron gate was there, right? So the police wants to come in. Well, can we come in and make sure everything's okay? And I was like, no, you can't. Everything's okay. You can look around from where you can see, but no, you can't come into my house. Flat straight like that. That was it. They had to leave. They just left and nothing happened. But I won't tell you what happened to the kid that called the police. But go ahead. Thank you for your time. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Oh Lord. Hey, here we go. Here we go. Yo, give me 1 second, man. Jesus, Jiminy Crickets. Thank you, Corey.
Get you a security. You don't have to open your door. You don't. You can talk to them through the door. You can talk to them through the window. You don't have to open, because once you give them access to your house, they can pretty much you're pretty much giving away all your rights.
Right.
It's just like if they had a warrant and they can search your whole house, they can do whatever they want to do.
Now, but I'm sure it was illegal for him to push past me, but I got you. Hey, shout out to MC Heavy Tits. She said all gun control is racist. Okay. Shout out to Matthew Powell, said just look at the Olympic opening rituals if you have any questions about that delusion. Shout out to you. Shout out to my man Reaper Rails 9876, $10 salute to Dr. Felicia. Thank you for standing up for women as a woman. Tired of that BS that many women allow with this trans-ish. Izzy, if you don't have her on more, no more super chats from me. LOL. Yo, I can't control Dr. Felicia, but she's always invited, and I love her to hear her perspective, the Lockhart perspective. Okay, so shout out to that. Bishop J. Man, $10. Hey, compensation for the conversation. Salute. Yeah, y'all be like Reaper Rails 9876, Bishop J. Jermaine, be like Trucker Yale, be like Jay Lewis, be like my man Crown Heights. Brittany, y'all support the show, support the stream, you know what I mean? Dope discussions deserve dope donations, compensation for the conversation. I'm gonna celebrate everybody now. Thank you.
Thanks, man. It don't matter what the situation. I'm just trying to climb any obstacle a nigga facing. See it through in due time. It's a marathon, you gotta pace it. You can't press rewind, you get left behind. Just grind and the rest be fine. No matter what the situation.
Yeah, I appreciate everybody supporting the show. Thank y'all so much. Thank you to the panelists. This is definitely a dope show. I'm enjoying the conversation. Give me one moment because I can't wait to get back to it. All right. Shout out to Jay Lewis. She said, understand where he's coming from. Shout out to you. Shout out to D's Nuts. What's up, family? Good to see you. Reality is in the building. Some people probably need to do both depending on their condition. Yes. Easy Bands, dope. Thank you. Fire L7 said, carnivore lifestyle heals most illnesses. Oh, really? You said meat?
That's backwards.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That does seem backwards. That does seem counterintuitive. That's like, huh? All right. Lord ADS said, most doctors are good doctors. I have rarely dealt with a bad doctor. Shout out to you, Lord ADS. Glad you had a good experience. My man, number one, said, that's why I got a medical waiver from my doctor so that I couldn't get that shot and a fool couldn't deny me ish. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to you. XX Frank Nitty XX said no war on drugs with the opioids. That's a fact. What's up, Jordan? Jordan said they barely give out penicillin now because of shortage and send it to other countries. Well, I'm allergic to it anyway, so good. And Kaleido Silver kills all pathogens. I've heard that. I don't know how true that is, but I've heard that several times.
Is good too.
I've heard that several times. There was a person that told me that years and years ago. Amanda May said he is spot on 100%. Shout out to you, Amanda May. Shout out to Carmen, sweetheart. There are good doctors everywhere, but it is ultimately your responsibility to filter through the bad ones. Shout out to you. Shout out to my guy, the Crown Prince. Good. 2 Izzy's on the top right now. LOL. Shit, that's hilarious. Hey, thank you, my man Corey Love, for the twin brother. He said, great conversation. Thank you, Corey.
Thanks, man.
Make money, make money. When shit hit the fan, we'll take money.
My man JD 1975, what's going on? I just refused that vac and my job didn't trip. Hey, shout out to you. I'm glad you was able to do that. Go ahead, family. Y'all got it. Get in where you fit in.
I'm gonna say something about the guy saying something about the carnivore diet. It's gonna throw people off, but depending on the type of blood type you have and what's in your ancestry, because that's what's in your DNA. If you come from hunter gatherers, your diet will be more based. You can handle the food. In New Orleans, majority of people like our blood type and the lifestyle and what we're used to is seafood based. Because anybody that lives close to the water, they can handle seafood. If you did not live that way, that's why it's all about knowledge itself. Because what will work for me might not work for you. That's why it's all about understanding who you are, what works for your body, listening to your body. Because you can't put a blanket diagnosis on anything and everything for everybody. It doesn't work that way. Blood
What
type
is
O
what
can
is
have
some way? What are
huh?
some ways to find out like what's good for your body? What's good for your
I think the
body? Like
perfect way is to find your blood type. If you find your blood type O, blood type A, AB, whatever you are, and there is specific diets and things that they'll tell you different type of foods that you can't eat or you shouldn't eat, and what foods are actually more beneficial to you for your blood type.
for your
So
blood type.
figuring out your blood type first, and then understanding it from there. But also understanding you need to detox from and pay attention to what you're eating anyway, because all meat isn't real meat. You don't know who's growing the meat. All like some fruits and vegetables are just made in a laboratory. They're not actually organic. They're just hybrid. So you have to pay attention to that. Like it was more simpler when we was growing our own foods and raising our own cattle. But now that we just go to Walmart and get it, it's all going to be tricky because they're putting parasites in it. They're putting different things in it to, you know what I'm saying, to make it bigger, to make it more. So that too, like trying to get to your local farmers or your local farmer markets, because they just have better produce and they'll have better selections of meat.
She's
That makes
she's
sense.
100% correct. Like for instance, I know this is anecdotal, but anytime I go and pig out and eat like red meats, like I never feel sick. But if I eat like a lot of like dairy, like I'm naturally lactose intolerant, and I just feel sick from that. And also too, like if you have any Amish in your area, please go support, because they're giving you like actual real foods. I was just in Vegas and some dealer just put me on a whole bunch of like health shit in terms of like putting I forget the salt. He said to buy this certain salt. It's the salt that comes in like a blue package, and he's just putting me on a lot of game. And I'm like, wow. He said that even the milk that he buys from the Amish, because he's lactose intolerant too, but he buys milk from the Amish and he does not feel sick whatsoever. So it's a lot of stuff. Like for instance, if you go to Trader Joe's, like I love watching videos that tell you like how to do certain things. So I went to Trader Joe's, right? And I stopped buying beef from them because they actually glue their beef, like their stew beef. They glue it, right? And there's a way to test where there's actual gristle, which is kind of, tough to, pull apart, because it's actually the natural thing that combines the beef versus the glues that they use. Same thing with salmon. With a lot of it, there's so much shit they do. So if you can buy from like local markets, if you have the Amish, I'm forgetting the other people that sell this stuff outside that look like the Amish.
What about the halal meat? Somebody J. Lewis says something about halal meat.
That stuff is probably not. If you're buying it from the trucks or from the storefront, I probably wouldn't trust it.
Talking about the people who actually do it themselves, delete it themselves, and then make it.
Oh yeah, they did. Yeah, they delete themselves fine, babe. You talking about a truck that says halal? There's like
is that salt? Is that salt Celtic salt? Jay Lewis was saying, is it Celtic salt?
Yeah, it comes in like a big ass blue package, right? If that's it, then yes, it's
Uncle
the salt.
Jeff. Uncle Jeff, if you're talking, your mic is extremely low. I don't know what's going on with your mic.
That's the dude. Because and when I went to London, bro, the first time I knew something was up when I made eggs. And the eggs were not yellow. It was like brown. I'm like, wait, what is this? And it got me looking into what the stuff that they put in. I mean, the reason why we have these cancers and all these growths and all these things in us is because the chemicals they put is not the food. Because you go to certain places, these people don't have great diets, and they're living to their 90, 100 years old, eating the same crap each and every day, smoking 3 cigarettes a day.
Yeah.
So
they got Uncle Jeff. Your mic is, I don't know. It's Uncle Jeff. Uncle Jeff, your mic.
You got the computer love mic over there, bro.
Yeah, Uncle Jeff, not even computer. That's yeah. This like, but hold on 1 second. Let me read this. Go ahead, family. What do you want to say?
Yeah. So this is what I wanted to say, right? My position earlier was being straw man, so I want to steel man it and make it clear, right? There's over 400 million medication errors a year. You understand? In the medical industry, there were doctors. There's always been good doctors, good family physicians before Big Pharma is taking control in the way that they control everything now. You understand? So I don't doubt that there are a lot of good doctors out there who take the Hippocratic Oath and really follow it. Mega corporations do not follow the Hippocratic Oath, right? And a lot of times what the doctor has a limited choice of what they can take and prescribe to the people based off of what's being supplied to them through Big Pharma and all of the shenanigans that they're going through. So I don't think it's really, in my personal opinion, it's not really about the physicians. It's about Big Pharma and the industry and the way that they commodify certain medicines. We're at the verge of where psychedelics are going to become legal in a bunch of jurisdictions, right? Doctors poo-poo, psychiatrists poo-pooed psychedelics for many years when they were in the control of the people and the medicine keepers who really knew how to distribute them and work with them. As a matter of fact, a lot of laymen don't know that there are contracts on the table where they're pulling in at this time. They're pulling in a bunch of indigenous legacy and lineage practitioners to what's the word, to give them like guidance in how they should, bring this stuff into play. So the point I was making earlier is that there's a separation between the doctors and Big Pharma. You understand? We've had great doctors forever, but Big Pharma is very devilish. You understand? The way that they move, the way that they do things, the way that they topple communities, the way that they steal heritages to take certain chemicals and create synthetics just to patent them and then tell the people who have been traditional keepers of those medicines that they can't use them. It's a lot of craziness going on. So I just want the people to understand that that's what we're talking about. It's not an attack against the doctors, but there will be no doctors at this point in time. All doctors come under Big Pharma. There's no doctor practicing outside of the reach of Big Pharma. I'll yield.
Yo, let me read these real quick. Shout out to Clever. Clever, what's up, Clever? Hey, the carnivore can be good for some people. Yep. Lamb's Grace also said carnivore diet is good for healing. Yeah, I guess for some people said facts 100. Bishop J. Jermaine said my family are from South Carolina and they always ate meat. LOL. Shout out to that. Hi Def said the info graphic show is good too, with showing us how the US would be invaded. I'm gonna check that out. Thank you, High Def. Uncle Jeff TV said no matter where you buy milk, it's baby calf growth fluid. If you're not a baby calf, you shouldn't be drinking cow's milk, period. That's what Uncle Jeff said. Dr. Lockhart, you sound like you had something you wanted to say on it. I'm listening. What did you want to say?
Well, this is simply for my channel that is up right now. I just wanted to say that this is a disclaimer for Headlines with a Voice. In no way any of the information that's been given should be taken as medical advice. This is for informational purposes only, and it's not to substitute for professional medical advice. I want that to be clear to all that are listening and all that will be watching in the replay. And I want to thank each and every one of the individuals that are joining us today from Headlines with a Voice. Again, this is only for informational purposes. You need to make sure that you go to your doctor. We're not selling anything to include that outstanding Celtic salt. We're not. Just make sure that you go to your doctor and do what's best for you.
Absolutely. I second that over here. Thank you so much. That was so graceful and so beautiful. You make everything sound so wonderful. I appreciate it. Hey, Sherelle, I wanted to ask you what was that? You said something micro, something gold. What was that, sis?
It's called monatomic gold.
Monatomic gold. Okay.
Yeah, monatomic gold, and that mixed with a little silver and and blue lotus flower will decalcify your
pineal
pineal
gland.
gland. Yeah.
Yeah, monatomic. Okay.
You'll be able to go into meditation faster. You'll be able to stay in meditations longer. So, and I think the thing about the carnivore diet is what people never understand. What's way worse than meat is sugar. Our majority of us are addicted to sugar.
Yeah,
So when people
me.
go on the carnivore diet, they're
Me.
usually cutting a lot of sugar. They're like even like with keto and things like that, cutting sugar. Stop drinking. You know what I'm saying? Fruits, getting all your like your drink from fruits. People going into H3O water with coconut water, cucumber water, or drinking spring water instead of drinking like Powerades. And because when you start looking at the drinks, because I've gave that up for like 4 years now, drinking anything that has sugar in it. So it's like the sugar that is just in a soda, in a Coca-Cola can, that shit is addictive. Sugar literally gives your brain the same response as cocaine. So we be addicted to sugar, and that is the number one thing that be keeping us unhealthy. So a lot of times people go on a carnivore diet, they're really cutting off a lot of processed sugar because they're usually doing very lean meat. So it does work for people who can do that. And dairy, like Uncle Jeff was saying, a lot of us are lactose intolerant. Dairy makes a lot of us sick because we really are not cows. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times the dairy is just it be messing us up. So I definitely agree with that too.
Can I ask Crown Heights a question?
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead, please.
I know that you are a medical doctor. Have you found that a lot of people come to you already telling you what they're going to do as it relates to natural things? And would you agree that it's important for people to have a medical workup before we start to add certain things like certain minerals to our bodies, certain, things of that nature? I know it's off the topic, but since we're on the topic, don't you think that that's a good idea? I mean, what's your stance on that? Making sure that you start talking to your doctor before you just start adding all this stuff. I'm going to tell you why I say this, because late at night, there'll be a lot of shows that'll come on, and there's a boatload of commercials, and they're always saying, if you have
I know
this
where you're
problem,
going.
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And you're
the
like,
side
oh
effects
my
be worse than the
God.
damn thing.
You got your phone and you're sitting there with your card and you're like, oh, I'll get some of that. And I tell you, I have a boatload of stuff. So yeah, that's why I wanted to know.
All right, I'll give you an example. There are certain things that affect specifically the minority population. Hypertension is one. Diabetes is another one. Look at something like the carnivore diet. I think that the carnivore diet is a good thing simply because of what you guys talked about earlier. It is that you're removing artificial sugars. But in the same token, understand that human beings are omnivores. Omnivores meaning that you need both vegetables and meat in your diet. So having a carnivore diet, just look at how the human alimentary system is set up, the gut. We have a long gut simply because we're supposed to be taking a lot of vegetables. If you have a lot of meat and only meat, what that means is that you're not having a lot of roughage in your gut. What that also means is that you're putting a lot of pressure on the lumen of your intestines, and that means that you increase your risk of things like hemorrhoids, diverticulitis, diverticulosis, that kind of stuff. So I do agree that you can do the carnivore diet, but you can't do it for a long period of time because our bodies are literally not made for it. You understand me? Having a carnivore diet, that being said, puts you at risk for hypertension simply because a lot of the meat that we eat has automatically a lot of salt in it. So if it is that you're doing a carnivore diet, then it should be clean meat. It should be meat that you have done on your own, or you have gone to the butcher and they have not added any salt or anything to it. You understand me? And that's the type of meat that you should have. Something like what the sister was talking about earlier with artificial sugars. A lot of the reason I see a lot of patients who have a lot of bad. Let's just put it this way: they have a lot of wounds, and the reason why it is that they have a lot of wounds is simply because their blood sugar is so high that the cells in their bloodstream can't get to the wound because their blood sugar is like syrup. And if it is that we continue consuming a lot of this artificial sugar, what that means is you're putting yourself at risk for diabetes. I'm telling you, most of the worst things that I've seen in the Black community is simply because of diabetes. Why? Because a lot of them don't believe in coming to the physician and getting a second opinion, getting a blood test, because the moment they feel like they've done the blood work, something is going to be found. Or having a colonoscopy at 50 years old. Oh, I can't do that. Even though you have a high risk of colon cancer in your family, you don't want to go see the physician. Why? Because you think that, physicians are out here to hurt you or this, that, and the third.
But you know where that comes from here in the West. You know where that comes from. Not that it's an
100%. And I'm not taking away from what my colleagues have done in the past. I'm not taking away from what the industry has also done in the past. But be selfish. Forget forget everything else everybody else said. I want Black people to stop being selfish about themselves. I want Black people to be able to take care of their families. I want them to exceed the normal life expectancy. I'm so sick and tired of seeing black men and Black women die at age of 65, 70. I want them to get to 80, 90, 100. You understand me? And that only happens from a good eating lifestyle, and on top of that, you taking care of the things that typically affect people of color.
Well, I'm going to get ready to go, you guys. I have my whole chat over here with us. I've got some things that we've got to do here. But what I will encourage my chat to do is to make sure that you follow Izzy's channel. If you'd like to finish up with the rest of this conversation, as you all see, it is very provocative. It's a healthy conversation. And that's something that I know that everybody that follows both the Lockhart Perspective and Headlines with the Voice appreciates. So you guys shift on over here and come and hang out for a little while. We're live tonight on the Lockhart Perspective. We're talking about why women decide, Izzy, to cheat. Why do they cheat? Why do women prefer to be the side chick and not the wife? Okay, so that's what we're talking about on the Lockhart Perspective. But anytime Doctor would like to come onto the channel, we'd love to have him. If he would like to come over, I see he's sporting his Crenshaw. I mean, we could talk about Crenshaw and Slauson. We could talk about, Western and Avalon or wherever them streets run back home. I haven't been back to California in so long, it's hard to remember. Nonetheless, I want everybody from Headlines with a Voice to know that they're welcome over here at Izzy's channel.
Absolutely, absolutely. And please, my mods, please put Lockhart Perspective channel in the chat, and y'all subscribe to the Lockhart Perspective. Definitely, y'all see what she's bringing. She has that soothing, professional, elegant voice, and she's always well poised and well informed. So y'all definitely check out the Lockhart Perspective. I love when she comes around, and I'm just honored that she's on our panel. Okay,
so it's great to see you. Love you. I'll be there tonight.
Good to see you. I'm gonna try to be there. I won't promise.
Can she say something in our chat here so we could find her? Oh, somebody did it. Never mind.
Yeah, my man Jordan got her. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Dr. Lockhart. Appreciate
it. Thanks, everybody. Be blessed.
You too. You be well. Be well. Be well. Hey, shout out to my man Calvin Cook, $5. Thank you so much, Calvin Cook. So, Doc, doesn't oral sex lower gout and diabetes? Black men? Just asking.
White men too.
No comment. No comment.
Hey, shout out to Johnson for more. You can't buy white or brown eggs. You can buy white or brown eggs. That's what Johnson for more said. Shout out to Johnson for more. You can buy white or brown eggs.
No, she was talking about my comment. I'm talking about when you cook it, like the eggs itself.
Talking about the yolk.
And the yolk is still yellow in London. I'm just saying when you cook it, it doesn't come out fluffy, beautiful yellow like it does over here. So
they be adding stuff. Oh, Lord.
I could say what Crown Heights was saying was it's really about balance. You're not supposed to overdo anything and throw off just your balance. So, like I said, the number one reason why the carnivore diet is working is because you're cutting out carbs and sugar, and of course your body is going to have a positive effect from that. But yeah, you definitely need fruits and vegetables to sustain yourself. So I think that after a while you're going to have to go back into balancing it out. It's about eating to live and not living to eat. I think we eat way too much. I think that we should be detoxing every couple of weeks. You should be doing every 90 days. You're supposed to be doing a full parasite detox. You should be detoxing each week and every week. You You should keep that a part of your lifestyle to say, I'm not doing this. Cutting out fast foods, trying to cut that out. If you can start growing your own foods, dealing with the farmer markets, like do that. But it's about balance. It's not about I have to do this, because eventually we get bored and then we'll go to the worst possible options when we get into that mode of I'm sick of eating spinach, and then we'll go eat a hamburger like from McDonald's. So it's like it's all about the balance of it all. You're not supposed to overdo anything, and it's more
What's
about eating to live, not living to eat. 6 meals a day, 3 meals a day, that's a lot.
What's the best? Yeah, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, whatever y'all feel about him is fine. But he has a book called Eat to
Eat to
Live, and
live, yeah.
and he definitely talks about just eating 1 meal a day. That's one of the things that they talk about. And I don't know if you noticed, but a lot of brothers in the Nation of Islam, especially back in the days, they used to have really bright and vibrant complexions and used to be really healthy looking. So, that's one thing I guess that does add to that. But let me ask you a question, right? What do you recommend? And again, this is not medical advice. It's not medical advice. This is just having a conversation. What do you recommend as far as those detox, those parasite and metal detoxes? What are two of the things that you recommend?